Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. You are watching a Tinkerer's Cube traditional draft on MTG Arena with your host, Travis Semulin Sowers. Chat, say hello to YouTube. If you'd like to watch the drafting live, you can do so at www.twitch.tv/Semulin. A lot of different directions we could go with this. I kind of like Scavenging Ooze. But one of my big things about Cube is you can kind of go in any direction that you would like to. You can play whatever you want. I think the Cube needed a bit more polish for best of three. Why? Well, Bestiary is just drawing you cards, whereas the Scavenging Ooze, in this particular cube, you're looking to assemble as many kind of two-card combos as you can. The Scavenging Ooze does stuff with counters, stuff with life gain, and can disrupt your opponent's graveyard. I thought there's always a correct first pick. You thought wrong. Because a big part of Cube is having fun while you're playing, and all of the cards are powerful. If you're playing a powered cube and you open a Black Lotus or a Soul Ring, you should probably take it. But I feel like in the context of this cube, the Scavenging Ooze is doing enough things that I'm interested in playing it. Yeah, you could pick any of those cards and they'd be fine. But generally speaking, what I'm going to want to do is pick something that is like adjacent to several archetypes and see where we can go with it. So ramp is always welcome. The trick is, like, we could also just take a Mind Stone and not really be committed to anything. This is an older card, but a powerful card. And I don't think there's anything here that's like saying you have to play a particular color combo. We do have a combo with the Thought Thief. We could try to mill them and eat their stuff. But I think I like the Mind Stone. If this wasn't here, I'd probably be looking at the lands. But as soon as we find something that's like, hey, this is a plan, I'll get in on it. And this is kind of a card I've wanted to build around a little bit. I haven't been able to yet, but there is a black-white life gain deck, and I'm not that far away from it. Are there better color combinations in this cube than others? Not that I've found. I've probably played about 5 matches, but I've seen that there's all sorts of different synergy pieces that you can go for, and you're looking to get as many combo pieces as you can. Griffinary seems like a really strong build-around to me. Sure, it might possums, but understand that these people who see Veto don't interact with these people who don't. The Ram and the Griffinary don't actually play that well together. This doesn't gain you enough life. I want to have the big payoff for the life gain deck. And if it's open, cool. If it's not, we'll do something else. Like, we're also going to get there on playables. Every card in this cube is playable. So if we speculate on a couple different decks and then actually find what's open, we can do that. So why wouldn't we do that? And it's looking like big green stuff may be the direction to go. We could also potentially look at green-white counters with the Bossry's Acolyte, which I'm not opposed to. It could also go in a life gain deck. It's a bit of a hard commitment to white. Like, I think I could make a compelling argument that the Forgotten Cave is the best card here. I think that's somewhat obvious to anybody who's played enough Cube. But yeah, why not? We'll check it. Let's see if we can get somewhere with this. All right, I'm beginning to see a theme develop of white life gain cards. And really no compelling reason to take things that aren't white cards. I think in the blind, the Hanged Executioner is a lot better than the Aerial Responder. But if we're actually going to try to look at getting the Griffinary to go off, I probably need to take the Aerial Responder. And we're probably not playing the Scavenging Ooze. Enchantment removal's nice. Bugler. Yeah, it says Bugler, Militia Bugler. Bugler is usually pretty good too, because you can find some stuff with it. Yeah, there's no black cards in this pack, which is means it's quite likely that we'll get hooked up with black cards in the next pack. I think I want the unicorn here because we're going to want twos, and it's a 2-drop that lets us main deck some enchantment hate. It seems pretty good to me. Mooch, thank you for the resub. Y'all spam some cats for Mooch. But it is important for people watching here and people watching on the YouTubes that you understand that you can pick whatever you want in Cube. See a lot of people suggesting a lot of different cards, and it's okay to like any or all of them. So Erebos lets you pay life to draw cards. I've been interested in this. We could end up in some sort of black-white life gain deck. I think that's ideally where I'd like to go. But the Incubation Druid is being like, dude, you should just play green-white. Yeah, you can pick the crab. It's in the set. That could be a reason to gain life that we're going to spend it here, but we're just seeing a lot of really good green cards. Yeah, I like to think of Cube as having fun and a break from the super hyper-competitive Magic that we usually play. I think I'm going to take the No, I'm going to take the Incubation Druid. I've already got a unicorn for a little bit of removal there. Witch's Vengeance is quite good. Callous Dismissal is quite good. If we're not playing black-white, I doubt we're going to get enough life gain to be able to use the Griffinary, which is okay. I feel like if I'm playing green, I want to go bigger than a Sky Marcher Aspirant. And I'm not picking the mana high enough to be able to play the blue card. So I think we're going to like low-key commit with this castle. Gustwalker's a 2-drop I can get behind. So I think we've got our 2s covered here. Yeah, we're just not seeing green pieces from here, which is kind of weird to me. We may be moving into some sort of more aggressive deck than I had anticipated. We kind of haven't really seen much good removal either, which is a bit unusual. Blue has probably felt the most open, so I think I'm going to take this Cartouche and see where that goes. Giving a lifelink, yeah, okay. So blue-white's probably what I'm supposed to be doing if we're seeing Mind Control, Quasi-Duplicate, and Emery coming by this late. So like blue-white something could be where we're going. I don't know, I'm not really getting... Do you guys feel like we're getting an indication that blue-white is open? I'm not entirely sure. That's the most value, but what I don't have right now is a way to kill literally anything. Yeah, I can't tell if we should be in blue-white. But I guess we'll see how it goes. Yeah. We're just getting like super late card draw and flyers. I don't know if you'd even want that, would you? But I do think we found our lane. What does this do? Whenever a creature you... Oh, it's the Exalted one. So Wind Robber we probably don't want. There's not really a pick for us here, is there? We could release the Hounds. Yeah, and I think, Lazy Jim, you can take that signal and decide, okay, I'll play what they're not playing. Or you can just force whatever you want, because there's enough playables to probably get there anyway. Like, we could take that Champion of Lambholt, which is a very powerful card, and just force the green cards and play it anyway. I could see playing an Ugin's Conjurant in this deck. I'm not particularly excited about any of the rest of this, so I think I'm just going to take it. If we get Curiosity Effects, literally any card that has flying is great. So let's play one that's great on its own, like an Aerial Responder or an Eagle or a Gustwalker. So this is an interesting question here, because we would like to take the Sovereign, we would like to take Warrant, we would like to take Banishing Light. I may need to take the Fabled Passage. Blue-white is so open that we'll find the pieces that we need for it. We can pretty easily determine that we're going to get past those. And there's really no excuse for having bad mana in Cube. I've already got double white, double blue, triple blue. Like, If this or this wheels were great, if didn't say please wheels were okay, but like if we're committing to a 2-color combo, we're gonna kind of have to take every duel that we see in that combo, because otherwise we're not gonna get them. Like a 3-color deck has more options open for what duels it can take. I would not play the Hushbringer. The Hushbringer would be very bad in this deck if we're playing the Conjurant or the Acolyte. Yeah, I think the same argument applies to the Hallowed Fountain here. So I'm going to take it. I'd really like the Mimic, but we'll find more good stuff. What does this do? Target creature gets +2/+2. If it's an enchanted creature or enchantment creature, it gets hexproof and indestructible. Interesting. I feel like I'd rather just have a 2-drop that can start getting in. Ranger of Eos currently finds nothing. Selene Vision is not great. Unsummon is alright. What does this do? Whenever Archon or another creature with flying enters the battlefield, you may gain life equal to that creature's power. That seems overpriced. Doesn't it say creatures entering the battlefield don't trigger? Because this says it enters... Oh, I guess maybe it doesn't. I feel like the highest upside here is the Ranger of Eos, but I probably just want the Unsummon. It's almost a loop with Griffinary. Fair. The Ranger would get the Conjurant. Fair, Jim. Do I need that Evolving Wilds, or do I just want like a little bit of card draw or an Essence Scatter? I think we'd probably play this too. What am I blinking? Blinking this to draw a card. Blinking this to get some counters. Blinking this to kill it. Yeah, okay, fair. I think I'd rather just have a little bit of card draw, and it seems like that'll be easy for us to cast. Ardenvale Tactician goes right in this deck. Pretty happy to see that. Blinking the Unicorn? I don't think that does much. I'd like to be playing a deck where Raise the Alarm is good, but I don't think I am. I could see jamming in a Supreme Will. I'm probably not playing enough instants to really use it. But we can give it a go. Yeah, this was our opening pack, and all of the blue-white cards wheeled, and I kind of don't want any of them. I guess 4-mana 4/4 is not the worst thing I've ever seen. And here we wheeled 2 of the cards we were probably the most interested in, between the Warrant and the Sky Sovereign. I don't have a lot of interaction, but I think I like the Sky Sovereign. I also don't think we're realistically going to play that. This is interesting between the Shacklegeist and the Splendor Mare, because the lifelink could really swing things, but I think we've got enough creatures that have lifelink, and that we have 2, that I can afford to take the Shacklegeist. And we've got a little bit of an aggressive blue-white Skies deck started here. The Ranger does get the Conjurant, so we'll keep that as like a side package, and if I get a 1-drop I like, we'll take it. Essence Scatter's nice. I'll play that. If we find, I don't know, something like a Riss, we could play this. All right, so we've got Mystic, Terry, Mander, Midnight Clock, and Ajani. Ajani puts counters on your dudes, which is neat. It buys something back, which we could actually do, realistically. Terry is pretty dang good with the Ranger. I'm not really playing enough instants or sorceries to get a discount on Terry. I think I might want a Ajani. Like, if you can get a little bit ahead, he's pretty amazing. I think I'm going to go for that. And if we will the Terry, I'll play it. If we don't, I'll just cut this whole package. Well, Spectral Sailor is almost enough to just take and play it. I think we could use Heliod too. I also just have literally no removal, so like the Bubble Snare is tempting as well. But how much mana do I have to spend for this? Not bloody much. Yeah, I think Heliod might be what we want here. I haven't gotten to play with this card yet. I don't think I'm gaining enough life to do that, although I appreciate that it's here. I think we could probably run a Hedron Archive, but we're not going that big, so it'd mostly be a complicated card draw spell, and this Temple is just like, yo dog, you've already got 25 playables, get me in here. Finale of Glory is interesting to me. Like, this is called the Cavalry Plus, if you think about it. So I don't see a reason not to play that. Angel of Vitality, Squire's Devotion, Eternal Sky Lord. These are all cards that we could consider. So this is if you would gain life, you gain that much life plus 1. Well, I mean, this is a Windrake, isn't it? I don't know how interested I am in a Windrake. It's cute with like Heliod and stuff, but we haven't gone that deep on the life gain synergies. I think I'm going to take it, but I still don't think it's getting played. Spork double or nothing. I don't feel like I've got that much stuff I want to clone. Yeah, I kind of don't. I guess we still take it, but don't really want it. Multani, huh? Okay, whoever cut us out of green initially is doing great there. I can take a Thought Collapse. I don't know that we main it, but having access to a cancel might be okay. We're not going to play the Griffin's shenanigans. I could see Staggering Insight being something we're very interested in. We need to be careful not to play it on the Departed Deckhand. But other than that, we can give this a go for sure. Terry Wield. I think that's probably enough for me to take, especially with the Staggering Insight. That Wield too, and I want it. But we're past the question of want. Who's done with the Deckhand? Why are you done with it? We need to take this Bubble Snare. I don't have any removal. Why are you done with the Deckhand? I don't understand. It's a fine card. That guy's playable too. I don't think we need him, but we could play it. Who's done that with the Deckhand? Like, killed it? Okay, okay. I have seen people do that. I don't think I've done it, but I might have. I've certainly made colossal mistakes while playing the game of Magic. We didn't really get into super synergistic things. What's our creature count at? 16? I don't need Sailor of Means. I don't think I like the counter spells. I think we'd rather have things that can attack if we're going to be playing the creature enchantment and all of these tempo adjacent cards. So I think I'd rather just cut all of the counters. That still leaves me with 2 cuts. Is it realistic to think that I'm going to cast Low Mage's Domination? I think it's possible. I could trim 1, 2. Like, this Fairy Vandal doesn't look like it's doing amazing things. It's doing okay things. And after that, I've got to cut something else. Maybe I don't need the Cartouche of Knowledge, because I'd rather have the card draw elsewhere. And if I'm going to be playing an Aura, I think that's just a better one. The mana looks great. Let's see if this does anything. Yeah, we'll probably be taking something small, but it's giving us an out to top deck it later and go for lethal. But like 5 mana, take your 2-drop, hit you. Like maybe they've got a small flyer. Staggering Insight and Fairy Vandal is the combo, because it would keep growing. The problem is it just doesn't block anything, right? What are your thoughts on a 16-land deck? I think you'd need to cut the Domination if you were doing that. But I don't super know why we'd want to. Like, can't anything grow with Heliod? So like Heliod plus literally any other creature is the combo with Staggering Insight. Because like if I'm playing the Vandal, all of a sudden I want Essence Scatter. I mean, there's 2 decks here, right? Which is one of the reasons why I would argue to take these lands so highly. Heliod needs you to spend mana, right? I mean, not much. Not much at all. But I could see a turn where we go Shacklegeist into Staggering Insight, then land Heliod attack again, and it starts growing. And then we still get to use the mana for something else. I don't know. I think this looks fine to me. I also think we're probably ready to stream Raid for Was But a 2-star. So let's go smush this retro town. Chomp. Yeah, they're kind of getting wrecked, aren't they? This pleases the Travis. That was fast. All right, Jimmy with the kills, Miklas with the assists, rewards for Y, Ruckus, Snus, Artillery, and Schmuck. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'd rather fight the bosses from this mode, because we'll lose them one day. My love for you is like a truck. Berserker. If you are watching on YouTube, good reminder that on Thursday of this week, Thursday, if you will, I will be doing the set review with my friend Iserok here for Kaldheim. We'll be looking at all of the cards, deciding what we think they're going to do in Limited, if they're good, if they're bad. I mean, this has the Wombo combo of play a 1-drop, get it burned, cry, lose the video game. I mean, show me you can stop it. Red-black is not known for their removal. See? Red-black not known for removal. Yeah, worst case, it's a 2 for 2. Best case, we just got up a card. I should not have played the Mind Stone out first, but I have already decided what I want to do for the next turn. Which is not let them attack me. I'm being lazy. Don't be like me. Yeah, draw your card first, Travis. Okay. Or don't. Is there a possibility I want to let this grow to a 3 power and then just take it next turn? I think there is. Why can't I? Oh, they'll just sack it? Okay, cool. I can take the Woe Strider. Okay, we're not taking anything. This is what we've learned. Woe Strider makes another goat token? I don't know about all that. What if I just had a bunch of soldiers to block with? It seems like it'd be pretty good. Okay. Woe Strider makes another goat. New! New! We can't interact with that at all! There's nothing I can do! I can take a 1, 2, 3, 4. So not that. I can take their thing that lets them gain life. I can also just accept that they're going to get me with one of these cards and then take that next turn, but they're not going to tap out next turn. Yeah, I think I make them sack the land pad here. They can do it to scry. Yeah, so at least they won't have that. Maybe we'll just kill them 1 point at a time. I've been pretty impressed with the Witch. We had a copy of it in our last deck, and it was good. So they can make 2/2 flyers? Okay. There's both. They're relatively well-defined arc. I mean, I think this cube is best described as a cube that has a lot of two-card combos with some build-arounds as well, but most of what you're looking at is kind of two-card combos. You're probably not going to win in this format on power level alone. I mean, just play the tactician, stabilize, and then we can start doing the things. But it's still a cube. There's incredibly powerful cards here. Yeah, pockets of synergy is what I've had the most success with so far. So this is 4 to use. So I could cast this and use that. I want to give them an opportunity to screw up, but I do not believe that they will. Actually, I can still kind of give them an... Well, I can also give them an opportunity to blow me out with a removal spell. I should probably just not do that. Like, there was a chance they didn't notice that I could make a kitten and get them. But that doesn't entirely seem worth the risk. Dave knows me too well. Barros. What does he do? Whenever another creature you control dies, you may pay 2 life if you do draw a card. Okay, I reckon we just take 4. Hey, what's up, Sid? They have to chomp with their burb. What's up, Bim Bam? Lunch and cleaning is up. Doesn't sound too bad. So if we're already at make 2 burbs, which gives us plenty of good blocks, they already have to chomp this. I feel like we're just, like, I don't need her. That's not to say that we won't get some use out of Eleonora. It's possible they can sacrifice a bunch of crap and get rid of our Burb army. But I feel like if they do, that's going to leave them with not enough stuff to block the Knights. It's just a flesh wound. Yeah, we just need to make sure we don't die, so we block the biggest things they have. Which are these. And take non-lethal and get them on the way back. I'm going to pause the recording for a second and run grab a drink because I begin to thirst. I'll be right back. All right, so we had talked about a land lighter version of this deck that included these two cards, and I think I want them because domination looks kind of actively bad here. And I don't believe that I want it. I also don't think I'm necessarily killing them with a Gust Walker. I'm already on the draw. I shouldn't need this. It's quite the transformational size board there. But, like, I'm not taking anything from a sacrifice deck. And countering a few spells might matter. Man, that's almost keepable. It only needs one land. But I don't think it's good enough. I want to fish for at least a 2-lander. Like, this one looks a lot better. That one's pretty good, too. Okay. So you can kind of see our game plan here. Now we need a little bit of card draw now because either this works or it doesn't. We need Staggering Insight and them not to interact with it, or we just lose. Well, it looks like we just lose. Essence Scatter's pretty good against that. I don't think I can actually beat the Butcher. It's a good example of a card that really needs combos and synergies to be good, rather than a card that's just good enough on power level alone. I would need to unsummon it and then block it, I guess. Yeah, we can't block anything now. I mean, it does do a decent Whirling Dervish impersonation. That's fair. I'm just dead. Let's let that one go. I don't think intimidating your opponent into scooping is a realistic stratagem. I like having the enchantment removal. I like that a lot. And I still think this is the configuration I'd rather have, but we're going to need a 2-lander. Arguably, I could just play 17 and cut the Mind Stone, but I really like Mind Stone. All right, let's try this again. That looks good. Can we not do this? Okay. This is such an awkward keep. We've got Essence Scatter into Heliod into Good Luck. And we're going to shuffle this land that we don't particularly want back in with the Fabled Passage. Okay, Terry is at least a start. New! I mean, everything has to start with this little dude. Timur! No shock. I do not need your shock. That's just contemptible. Okay, so a good draw for us now would be creatures. Is Timmy an enchantment? Timmy is an enchantment, so maybe we just want to exile Timmy here, depending on our draws. Sure. I mean, assuming we draw nothing. So what happens if we play the eagle here? They'd have to sacrifice both of their cards to get it? I'm okay with that. Yeah, it exiles, so that's why I was like, do we want to get rid of Timmy or do we want to get rid of this? Yes, they need to sack a lot of creatures to kill this burb. Mine's better. Remember? I remember. Is not particularly good right now. I am in danger yet again. This is okay-ish, but not good. Because Bubble Snare actually doesn't do anything against them either. My guess is they're going to sacrifice this to prevent the damage here, and then use the death trigger to kill this. Which is going to start to get pretty rough. I don't think this is going to get any better than preventing 4 damage. Because they're still able to do this for a while drawing cards off of it. We're actually pretty far behind right now. The only upside is that now we can finally kill Erebos. Yeah, spells will get the Sailor, abilities will not get the Sailor. But the downside is, like, I still don't have blocks here. Yeah, this is not good enough. We're pretty far behind. And may, in fact, just be dead. So, see, here's the thing. If I try to kill the Knight, they prevent the damage from the Eagle. I can't gain any life, and we're out of the game. If I kill the Erebos, then we have to chump block with the Eagle, which is almost as bad, but we can at least gain a few points of life when we do that. Because if I don't kill this, then this engine never goes anywhere. They can sacrifice this to fizzle the Exile, sure. This doesn't sacrifice itself. I feel like blocking is the only out I actually have. Well, we gain 4 life at the very least, right? Oh, okay, fair. Yeah, so that means there's literally no out. We've been trying to give it lifelink and swing every turn. That has not worked. It is, nor is it likely to. So I think our out was that they didn't see that. Because, like, as soon as this was down and they drew a couple creatures, we were in trouble. Well, that'll do it, bud. That'll do it. Yuck. Well, they did it. This was actually a synergy deck, not a raw power level deck. It's unlikely that we would draw the Lull Mage because we sideboarded it out. But even if we did, anything we try to take, they sacrifice. That was a really good synergy deck. And I think an example of some of the cool things that you can do in this cube. Yeah, the Oathsworn Knight is fine. There's a couple decks he can go in. So I remember one thing, I still want to do this one day. We should technically do our Stream Raiders battle, but I missed that we were that close. I'll do it during sideboarding. I had talked to Dave some about a cube and cube design, and he had this idea that he wanted there to be a theme in every color pair and every wedge. And that's kind of something they've got going on here, in that you can draft a wedge, you can draft a shard, you can draft a color pair, and there's a dedicated theme for it, as well as just good cards in it. I don't think that's good enough, not with 2 double whites. Okay, this at least sort of takes care of our mulligan. Yeah, it's a lot of archetypes. It is. Which is why that cube has not been designed yet. Imagine they nab Heliod here. I've seen a lot of people playing Agonizing Remorse. The one he and I were talking about designing was an arena cube. Because I'm not super interested in a cube that I can't play on arena. You can. You absolutely can. Next time Dave's on, ask him to share the cube dock with you, because he was pretty dang close with it. He did it just with cards in arena. I was massively impressed. Wedge and shard. All of it. That didn't happen, but there was some overlap. That probably just needs to die. It's making everything they draw from here better, and I don't want that. Like, I could play the Conjurant and get an extra counter on it, and then proliferate onto it next turn, but I could also just draw an untapped land and play it. Acolyte? That's not bad if this guy's still alive. We could do Deckhand into Acolyte. Leave us with a 3/3. A pair of 3/3s. Are you blowing up your bestiary? Hey, what's up, Krishna? Possibly. It is not an artifact, it is just colorless, like Ugin. That's pretty good. This is pretty good too. How far away from this am I? I've got 2, so it's 6 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I cast this just as Call the Cavalry, I think we have lethal next turn like 5 different ways. About what I've seen Collected Company usually do. Warbriar Blessing. That's pretty cool. Rex Sage. Rex Sage is interesting. I don't really have anything the Rex Sage messes with, though, do I? We've got a Mind Stone. They're not going to cut it against me, so I kind of just want to cut the Mind Stone and be like, get me. I think I could probably use a Supreme Will in that spot. And Staggering Insight, but if I'm careful, I can still get my value out of Staggering Insight. I didn't like Collected Company and Standard back in the day. I just don't like the card. I like to know what my cards do. Do we have the unicorn? We have a unicorn. I'm not sure which unicorn is the unicorn. Caramel unicorn? That does sound pretty good. I wonder what chance there is they block this if I attack with it, because it's not doing anything else. I don't think they're super likely to. But I also think we're going to sit here for a little bit. Yes, I will be streaming my normal times this week. We have the one that gets enchantments. It's mostly there as a 2-drop. This is getting awkward. I imagine it is Shade. You're in DC, I presume? Yeah. Welcome to the United States. It's a scary place to be. They've got a lot of lifelink, don't they? Well, okay. We're both making tokens. Is the US that scary these days? Yes. There was an insurrection here 2 weeks ago that's pretty scary. Aside from storming the Capitol. Other than that, everything's fine. Think that through. Like, come on. This is a spirit, right? Yeah. But I don't think we actually want it to attack. I guess go Air Force? This doesn't look great. Oh yeah, and the pandemic. Yeah, there you go, John. Thank you. You know, just a pandemic. That's it. That doesn't make it less scary, right? The fact that they were bad at it doesn't make it unterrifying to me. I don't have great unsummoned shenanigans. I don't have great shenanigans, is what I don't have. Good lord. So Terry is nowhere near scary. He's close to it. And they need to be a 5/5 flyer. So I want to keep Terry alive. And ideally unsummon something this turn. Which means we're probably chump blocking with the cat, blocking with the deckhand, and crossing our fingers. I guess I could bounce wrists and block this. There's no way. Well, I guess suppose if they take the unsummon, you got me. They don't see it. Maybe they do see it. All right, let's prevent 4. I should have bounced that, huh? I'm bad. Don't judge me. You're not my real dad. Maybe they proliferate. That's honestly one of the worst draws I could have gotten, but sure. We'll need it later. I still think there's a possibility we're in this game, but it is distant. You're not getting any better than this. Terry probably has to trade for that now. If they attack with it. But this is stable adjacent. This is not stable adjacent. It was stable adjacent. Now it is less so. Oh, Barb. Happy, thank you for the resub. Y'all spam some cats for Pappy Van Nappy. Savala is wrecking me? Savala's drawing him a couple cards. That's not what's wrecking us. The perfect is kind of wrecking us. I can wait and end to turn this. I'm not likely to counter anything, but if they think this board is stalled, I guess I'm pretty happy with that. I do not see enough cats spammed for Pappy Van Nappy's resub. So I will get things started. Spam, cats. You know the drill. Alright, so which of these cards does something? What if we got to keep their thing? I can take a... Oh, that's rough, because I need to draw a land with it. But I'm clearly taking it. If we take their big flyer, all of a sudden things look a little better for us. This is a 5-drop. No, it's a 4-drop. It was already good. How is that a 4-drop? It doesn't make any sense at all. How in the world is that a 4-drop? I may be dead on board and didn't notice it. That's entirely possible. They have a lot of elves, and my life total is pretty low. And the Shackle Geese should have attacked. It can't block. Wind elementals like, or air elementals like, what's up? That gets me some blockers. I like blockers. We got to take 4 of them, because I don't think I get another turn. It's a pretty good board state. I imagine the Shepherd's going to die here. We are gaining 1 life a turn. That's fair. Problem is, if the Shepherd dies, I'm kind of mostly done. And the Shepherd is now dead. So you can begin to see our concerns. But we are gaining 1 life a turn, so we've got that going for us. Two life a turn. So I could hit for 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 this turn. That's not enough. It's enough to kill them next turn if they don't do something. The problem is they're going to do something. I've got to attack with this turn too. Offspring's Revenge wasn't great outside of the context of Ikoria, right? Ikoria draft. I can do 10 damage. Did I have lethal and I missed it? Man, cube's complicated. Yeah, I did. I had it. I drew exactly what I needed to win and just decided I didn't want to. Secretly, what we're doing here is looking to find out more information about their deck for the next game. That's what we want to do here. And we can do that this way unless this has trample, right? I did forget that the exert adds power. So our enchantment removal, Urnikern, doesn't help much there. Oh yeah, we can do the Stream Raiders. That was a very narrow victory, including a mistake. But I mean, I'm gonna make mistakes in Cube. I think everybody's gonna make mistakes in Cube. Splat. Sorry to hold the Stream Raiders hostage. I didn't mean to. There's plenty of times I miss something. I don't think Magic's about not ever making mistakes. Me with the kills, Schmitty with the assists, rewards, or Shade, Kak, Miklas, and W. I think it's more about trying to minimize the mistakes that you make and have proper recovery for them. Because like even when I'm not streaming and I'm playing, I'm going to make mistakes. Cube's not necessarily any more complicated than some constructed formats. Like watching people play Vintage and Legacy, I'm like, that's pretty dang complicated. It's just using a different skill set than what you use in traditional Limited. So like usually I won't screw up as much in a regular Limited format because there's not as much complexity. And I don't think the complexity necessarily makes games better, it just makes them different. It's an okay start. Constructed as more prep? Probably, but that just means like doesn't that mean that it would be skill testing? It would be more skill testing if you didn't prepare? I think I'd be pretty happy to trade off the deckhand for that because I can go Mindstone. No, I can't go Mindstone into Sovereign next turn, but I still don't want to get beat down by a 3-2. Yeah, I think it's just a different skill set. Well, there you go, McFunky. You may have something there. I mean, there's some kids that would argue with you there. I mean, think about who your game is aimed at. If it's aimed at children and you really want to tell a story more so than play a game, I think Candyland's the best thing you could get. Don't you? I think I'd rather just ramp out here. I think there's a thought for a lot of people that the most skill testing thing is the thing that they're better at. And I certainly fall prey to that sometimes too. It can be both. Why can't it be both? Like, I think Candyland teaches a lot of good things. Like, you play, you have a story, you have an adventure. You learn to deal with variance. You learn to be a gracious loser. Like, I don't think any of those are bad things about Candyland. There's virtually no downside to playing mutate cards in a cube, right? Especially ones that have reanimation shenanigans. Is there a possibility? I think there's a real possibility that I want to Staggering Insight this and dare them to do anything about it. Because I'm not entirely convinced that they can. Like, they're either going to blow up the enchantment, but I'm not sure what they can do about this. Sure, you can blow up the insight, or you can unlock your other dude. Or you can decide to do neither this turn. That's fine by me. It's a bizarre attack. I like it. So I'm still trading for one of these, presumably that one if I attack. I mean, I think we attack first and see how they block. Like, if they want to trade the Brontodon for the Conjurant, they can't unlock their Gem Razor. That's fine with me. The Conjurant doesn't live. I don't know that we're going to want to do that, because if they let this through and we draw a card, we may decide that we don't want Heliod in play. Because I can do this and get the Terrimander and play it. I don't think you understand how the Conjurant works, Ranger. If it would be dealt damage, prevent that damage and remove that many +1/+1 counters. Meaning if they block it, they're dealing 6 damage. We'd remove 6 counters. You don't like my attack? Okay. I didn't think they were going to double block me. Oh, so we've kind of done the thing then. Go us. But we've also used the Conjurant to get us to... So this is just can't die. No, it has to have counters on it. So it would survive 1, but it doesn't live forever. We're not like Phantom Minotaur stuff. Unless we can put other counters on it. Which I'm thinking we can. I don't need a Gust Walker. I totally didn't see that. My apologies. It was I who did not understand how Conjurant works. My discussion of how complicated Cube is continues. And if I can win games while barely understanding what my cards do, so can you. There's no reason not to get in Cube. Man, they've got maximum enchantment hate. And we still got there with a staggering insight. This pleases the Travis. They've got flyer hate too. No, I was just recognizing that if you kill the Conjurant, that the Conjurant is dead. However, because it has +1/+1 on it, it would still survive as a 1/1. So like the staggering insight Conjurant is a plan, and we actually have ways to put more counters on it, which is pretty bloody neat. I'm actually scared of their deck because it looks like they can interact pretty well with a lot of the stuff I'm trying to do. The only change I could really consider is a Cartouche of Knowledge, but they've got so much reach, I don't know how we get that. Yeah, I missed it too, Ruckus. It's okay. And I apologize that whoever that was, I said, I don't think you understand how it works. Because the challenge is I had a lot of people in whatever set Ugin's Conjurant was in explaining to me how it only loses 1 counter per turn. I'm like, that's not how that do. Yeah, it was from War. Had so many people that were like, well, you can just block with it. It only loses 1 counter. I was like, no, it doesn't. It's not. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. Okay, boom. I should have attacked for 2. It's okay. I was just excited to be able to do it. What does she do? Puts counters on your creatures? That's pretty scary. This could just trade for most of what they have. I'm okay with that. We'll get Heliod shenanigans going in a minute. Don't really want to put counters on Scary Terry. Less adaptive that way. We can just swing back 6 lifelink, put a counter on the Ranger, and be in pretty good shape here. Like if they want to double block it with these two, kind of fine by me. Is this kind of what people did in Theros block? Seems pretty good. Bold if true. Play Typhoons, escape them, win. In between complaining about Trawler, yes. I like it. That's unfortunate. I was planning on using that. They seem pretty intent on not letting me do that, though. And I must say I don't particularly care for it. I feel like a big old Conjurant is something we're going to be interested in here. And then we'll just try to finish them off in the air. I could also conceive of playing these two, because they can't quite go as wide as I can. Big thing without trample, huh? Okay. 4, 5, 6. 6 into 7 will kill them. If I do this and then play the finale for just like Call of the Cavalry plus, I don't actually think they can kill me. They would need a reach creature, I suppose. It would appear they do not have one, and this pleases the Travis. That was a fun little deck. I didn't know that you could just do blue-white skies in this cube and be pretty happy with it. But I guess that really is an archetype literally everywhere Magic cards exist. Blue-white evasion. Whether it's flyers or shadow, you can always sort of kind of get it done there. And that's not a bad finish. Like, as long as we're going 2-1, I'd like to get us a win. But as long as we're going 2-1, we're even on gold, having a good time. Even up 20 gems. Look at that. It's a lot of gems. So those of you watching on YouTube, thank you very much for tuning in. If you would like to watch the draft live, you can do so at www.twitch.tv/Semulin. Chat, say goodbye to YouTube. We will catch you next time. Oh, was that you, Chin? Good games. All right, YouTube, we'll see y'all next time.